Chaos in the city. The night was heavy, and the air smelled of smoke. The city was no longer the safe place it used to be. Sirens cried in the distance, windows were broken, and shadows moved quickly between the ruined streets. Nobody knew what had really started the chaos. Some said it was war. Others whispered about experiments gone wrong. But for me, the reason did not matter. What mattered was survival. My name is Anna. I was 22, and until last month, I lived a normal life. I worked in a small bookstore, drank coffee every morning, and dreamed of falling in love. But now the city was a nightmare. Shops were empty, people fought for food, and every sound in the darkness made me freeze. One evening, when the sky was red with fire, I ran through the streets looking for water. My hands were shaking, and my heart beat too fast. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned quickly, afraid it was one of the gangs that ruled the city now. But it was not a gang. It was him, a tall man with tired eyes but a strong posture. His jacket was torn, his face dirty, but his eyes were full of something I almost forgot existed: hope. "Don't be afraid," he said softly. His voice was calm, almost gentle. In the middle of chaos, he sounded like safety. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice low. "My name is Daniel," he answered. "I was looking for someone who can still believe that we can survive this." I wanted to laugh. Believe, survive? The city was burning, people disappeared every day, and monsters of hunger and fear lived in every corner. But still, I did not run away from him. Something in his eyes made me stay. We walked together through the empty streets. Around us, buildings stood like black skeletons. The wind carried the smell of ashes. I wanted to ask him many things, but I stayed silent. The silence between us was heavy, but not cold. Finally, he said, "I lost my family. The city took them away, but I cannot stop fighting. And maybe I don't want to fight alone anymore." I felt my throat tighten. I also had no one left. My parents were gone. My friends disappeared. For weeks, I thought I was the last one alive. And now here was this man. But then a scream tore the night. It came from the next street. A woman's scream, sharp and broken. We froze. Daniel looked at me. His eyes asked the question he did not speak. Should we help, or should we run? My heart beat louder than the sirens. I wanted to live, but also I could not ignore that voice. "Let's go," I whispered. Together we ran into the darkness. The scream was long and painful. It echoed between the broken buildings like a warning. My legs shook, but I kept running next to Daniel. The street was narrow, full of shadows, and the air felt colder with every step. We turned the corner and stopped. At first I saw nothing, only firelight from a burning car and the black walls around us. Then I saw her. A woman was lying on the ground. She tried to crawl, but something pulled her back. My stomach turned cold. Out of the shadows came a figure. It did not walk like a person. Its arms were too long, its head bent at a strange angle. The eyes glowed pale, like dead glass. I had heard stories about them. Some said they were sick people. Others said they were something worse. In the city, people whispered one name for them: the Fallen. The Fallen bent over the woman. Her scream turned into a weak cry. "No," I whispered. Daniel grabbed my arm. "We can't fight it," he said quickly. "Not without weapons." I looked at the woman. Her hands reached out, desperate, begging. I felt tears rise in my eyes. My heart said, "Help her," but my body was frozen with fear. The Fallen turned its head to us. Slowly, like it could smell us in the air. My breath caught. "Run," Daniel whispered. We ran. The sound of our steps was loud, too loud. Behind us, the Fallen screeched. A horrible, sharp sound that cut through the night. I felt it chasing us. We jumped over broken glass. past empty cars, and into a building with no doors. Daniel pushed me inside, then blocked the entrance with a heavy piece of wood. My chest burned as I tried to breathe. My whole body shook. I could still hear the woman scream in my ears. I wanted to cry, but no tears came. Daniel sat on the floor, his face pale. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "We couldn't save her." I pressed my hands to my face. Guilt burned me from the inside. I hated myself for running. I hated that I was alive while she was not. Daniel moved closer. "Listen," he said softly. "I know this pain. I feel it every day. But if we die, it will mean nothing. We must live. We must stay alive, even if it hurts." His voice trembled, but his eyes stayed strong. I looked at him, and for the first time, I felt that I was not alone in my fear. Outside, the fallen scratched the wall. The sound was slow, patient, like it knew we were inside. Daniel put his hand on mine. It was warm, steady. My heart raced again, but this time, not only from fear. "We'll make it through this night," he promised. "I'll protect you." I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe in anything, but the city was full of shadows, and the shadows were hungry. The fallen stayed outside for a long time. We could hear its nails scratching the wall, slow and heavy. Every sound made my heart jump. Daniel held my hand, his face tense, his eyes fixed on the door. After what felt like hours, the noise stopped. The silence was almost worse. We did not know if the creature was gone or waiting. The room was cold and dark. Pieces of glass covered the floor. In the corner, I saw an old sofa with torn fabric. We sat down, close together. Daniel gave me a small bottle of water. "Drink," he said quietly. I hesitated. Water was rare, and I didn't want to take his, but he looked at me with soft eyes. "You need it more than me," he whispered. So I took a little sip. It felt warm, not fresh, but it was life. For a long time we stayed in silence. Then I asked, "Daniel, before all this, what was your life like?" He leaned back against the wall. His voice was low, tired. "I was a teacher. History. I lived with my wife and daughter." My chest tightened. "Where are they now?" His eyes darkened. He didn't answer right away. Finally, he said, "Gone. The city took them. I still hear their voices in my dreams." I looked at him, wanting to say something, but no words were enough. Instead, I whispered, "I'm sorry." He gave me a weak smile. "What about you, Anna?" I closed my eyes for a moment. I worked in a bookstore. I wanted to study literature. My parents supported me. But then the fire came. The riots. They didn't survive. Our voices fell quiet again. It felt strange to speak about the past, as if remembering it could bring the world back. But the world was gone. Daniel touched my hand again, gentle, almost shy. "Maybe we can still build something new," he said. "Not like before, but something." I felt warmth in my chest, fighting against the cold fear. I wanted to believe him, but then from the darkness outside, we heard a new sound. Not the fallen's screech. This was different. Voices. Human voices. At first I thought it was a dream, but they were real. Rough, angry voices, moving closer. Daniel's face went hard. "Gangs," he whispered. "Worse than monsters." We froze, listening. The men outside laughed, shouted, and broke something on the street. One voice said, "Check the building!" I think I saw movement. My heart stopped. Daniel pulled me close and whispered, "Stay quiet. Don't move." We sat in the dark, holding our breath, while footsteps came closer and closer. The footsteps grew louder. My heart beat so fast, I thought they would hear it. Daniel put a finger to his lips. We stayed low, hidden behind the old sofa. The wooden board at the door shook. Someone pushed against it. "Locked," a man's voice said. "Let's break it." My breath caught. Daniel held my hand tightly. His palm was warm, but his grip was strong, almost desperate. The wood cracked. Light from the fire outside spilled into the room. A man stepped inside. He was tall, with a scar across his cheek. Behind him came two more, laughing quietly. "See," the scarred man said. "I told you someone was here." They walked slowly, searching the shadows. Daniel pressed my hand, telling me without words, "Stay hidden." But the glass on the floor betrayed us. My shoe moved, and the sharp crunch echoed through the room. The men turned their heads at once. "There," one shouted. Daniel stood quickly, putting himself between me and them. "Stop," he said, his voice firm. The men laughed. "Look at this hero," one of them sneered, "protecting his little girlfriend." I wanted to speak, to say something, but fear closed my throat. The scarred man stepped closer. "You two alone?" His smile was cold. "Bad idea in this city." Daniel's jaw tightened. "We don't want trouble." "Leave us." The men only laughed again. One picked up a piece of metal from the floor, waving it like a weapon. Daniel whispered over his shoulder, "Anna, when I tell you, run." My chest froze. "No, promise me," he said quickly, his eyes never leaving the men. I bit my lip hard, fighting tears. The scarred man lifted a knife. "We'll take what you have. Food, water, and maybe more." His eyes slid to me, and I felt sick. Daniel moved fast. He grabbed a broken chair leg from the floor and swung it hard. It hit the man with the knife, who stumbled back with a shout. "Run!" Daniel yelled. I stood, my legs weak, but I couldn't leave him. The other two men rushed forward. Daniel hit one again, but the third grabbed his arm. I screamed. My voice filled the ruined room, high and sharp. The fight was chaos, shouts, the sound of wood against metal, the crash of glass. I wanted to help, but I was too afraid, too weak.